Good afternoon, everybody. I've had some requests to have a look at finding the best buy values, so I'm going to have a go at trying to explain how to find what the best value would be when I'm looking at the price per millilitre. So the first thing I've noticed is saying to me that for each pair I've got to calculate the price per millilitre and then choose which is the best value. And it's asking me to give my unit cost to 3 decimal places. So just remind myself that if this is my units, then I've got my decimal point, and then I'm going to have tenths, then I'm going to have hundredths, and then I'm going to have thousands. And that would then be to 3 decimal places. I'm going to make that all a little bit smaller so it fits onto my page. Okay. So to 3 decimal places would be 1, 2, 3 decimal places, stop. So let's look at this first one here. It says for 800 millilitres it's going to cost me £5. Now I always say just write it again for yourself on what this means to you. So I've got 800 millilitres and that's going to cost me £5. Okay. So then it's asked me what the cost is going to be per millilitre. So this is a bit like when we did ratio and proportion. If for 800 millilitres it costs this much, what would it be for 1 millilitre? So I'm going to look at what I need to do from 800 to 1. So imagine if, for example, it was saying 20 millilitres, what would it be from 20 millilitres to 1 millilitre? What would you have to do? Well, in that case I would have to divide by 20, but here I'm going to have to divide by 800. Okay, so now I found out what 1 millilitre would be over this side. I'd need to do the exact same on the other side. I'm going to have to divide by 800. Now this isn't 800 divided by 5, but it's 5 whole pounds divided by 800 to work out what one of those millilitres would be. So let's have a go at doing this. I'm going to spread it out across in the bus stop method. Okay, so I've got 5.00 at the moment. And I'm going to be going into the bus stop method to work out what it would be. And I'm putting 800 and seeing how many times 800 would fit into £5. And obviously I'm already imagining it's going to be a teeny tiny number because it already wants it to give to me in 3 decimal places, so I know it's going to be a tiny number. So 805 I know I can't do, so I'm starting with a 0 and a decimal point. So I'm then going to have 850, which again I can't do. And then I'm going to do 800 into 500, which again I can't do because obviously it's bigger. So what do I do now? Well, just like before, I just need to put in some more zeros because at the moment those zeros aren't worth anything. In each of my decimal place value holders, they're still not worth anything, so I can put as many as I want for the moment. Okay. So I've gone into 500, it didn't work, so I'm going to then move it across again, and this time I'm going to put that 500 into my next column. So I end up with the number 5,000. Now I'm going to be looking at 800 going into 5,000, or you can see here as well, 5,000, 5000. So I'm going to look at my 8 times tables quickly, and then I'm just going to make them all 100 times bigger to work out what they need to be into 5,000. So 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, and 56, but I know that's obviously too big for 5,000 because now I'm going to make them all 100 times bigger. Because I'm counting my 800s, not my 8s. So I'm going into 5,000. I can see that this is the closest I can get, so it goes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Okay, now it did say to me for 3 decimal places, so I could just stop right there. However, it's worth your time going on to the next decimal place value, just in case it's higher than 5 and above and you need to round this number to the nearest 3 decimal places. So let's just go on for the moment. So from 4,800 to 5,000, I've got a remainder of 200. So I'm going to place that into my next column. Ooh, 200. So I'm now going to look at how many times 800 goes into 2,000. 1, 2, and there it stops. So I know that this number here would then goes in 2 times. I don't need to then continue. There's no point in my time because it only wants it to 3 decimal places, so I would stop here. And it was worth me doing because it showed me it's 2, so this gets to stay as a 6. So then, I can see that for every millilitre for this first amount, I would have 0.006p, or 0.006 pounds, sorry, to work out for the cost per millilitre. Okay. Let's have a go at doing the next one. I've got 1,000 millilitres for £3. So just like I did before, I'm going to write it for myself what this means to me. I've got 1,000 millilitres is the same as £3. Okay, So then, I want to work out what 1 millilitre is going to be. Just like last time, I'm going to then have to divide this side and do the same to the other side. How do I get from 1,000 to 1? I divide by 1,000. So how do I get from £3 to what it's going to be per millilitre? So I'm going to have to divide by 1,000 again. So this time I'm going to look at my place value columns rather than dividing by 1,000. Rather than dividing by 1,000 using the bus stop method, because we know it's a special number, it's just about moving 3 decimal places. And I know it's dividing, so it's going to get smaller, so my 3 is going to move 3 places to the right. 1, 2, and then 3, so it will go into this decimal place here. So I can see then that I would have 0.003, because as I said before, it would go to 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places, and this 3rd decimal place afterwards, so 0.003. So then we have 0.003 as the value it would be for 1 millilitre at this cost. So now I've got to decide which is the best buy, so which is the best value for me. Well, for this cost here, it's only going to cost me 0.003p, or 0.03 pounds, sorry, for this price, whereas this one's going to cost me 0.006 pounds. So I can see that this is going to be cheaper for 1 millilitre. So my best buy value is going to be here, B. Okay, let's have a look at another one. Let's look at this bottom one here because it's involving 800 millilitres as well, and I can keep these bits already there. I'm going to move those over there, and let's just rub these out quickly. Okay, that'll do for the minute. Okay, and then let's delete these, and let's have a look at this next one here. Okay, so I've got now 800 millilitres is for £4.50. So again, what would it be for 1 millilitre? So I'm going to write it myself. 800 millilitres is going to cost me £4.50. So what would it be then for 1 millilitre? Well, before I had to divide by 800. I'm just going to turn my sound off so that you don't hear things going off. So from 800 I had to divide by 800 to get to 1 millilitre. So I'm going to have to divide £4.50 by 800, which is really similar to what we did before when I was dividing £5. So this time I'm going to make it large again, spread it out, because I'm going to be fitting lots of digits in, and I know it's going to be a small number, 4.50. And I can already tell it's going to be a small number, so I might as well just put some zeros in for the moment. And really spread these out because I know I'm going to have to be fitting some large numbers in there. And so I'm going to be dividing this by 800. So 800 into 4 I know I can't do, so I'm putting my decimal point in, and then I'm going to be looking into 45. So I've carried that 4 across into my tenths column. So 800 into 45 tenths I can't do, so I'm going to carry that 45 now over into my hundredths column. So 45, 800 into 450, again it's too big, I can't do it. So I'm going to carry that whole 450 across into my thousandths column. 450. So I'm now going to be looking at 4,500, and how many times 800 goes into it? Well, I can see that it's going to stop here. So 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, I know it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times into 4,500, with 500 left over. And so again, I'm going to go 800 into 5,000. How many times will it fit in? Well, I can see that this time I'm going up to 4,800. And it goes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now remember I did say last time you only need to go up to 3 decimal places. But I also said, remember, go on to just one more in case you then have to round. And you can see this is rounding up because 6 is larger than 5. So this decimal now needs to move up to the next decimal place. So 0.005 would actually be 0.006 because that 6 has pushed it up to the next digit. So I've got 0.006 as the value it would be for this one here, for A. And then let's have a look at what it would be for B. So this time I've got 900 millilitres. It is going to cost me £7.80. What would it be for 1 millilitre? So you can guess what's going to happen. I'm going to have to divide by 900. And here we go, divide by 900. So I'm going to have to divide by 900 on this side as well. divide by 900. So I'm going to write it out in my large numbers again and make sure that I'm leaving enough space. 7.80, and I know I'm going to need a few zeros because I'm going to have a very small number to deal with. Okay. So I've got 7.8 divided by 900. 900 into 7 I can't do, so I'm going to continue with that decimal point. So I'm going to move that 7 across into my tenths. 900 into 78 I can't do, so I'm going to move that 78 over into my hundredths. 900 into 780 I can't do, so I'm going to move it over into my thousandths. 780. Oop, can't do. So now I'm looking at 900 into 7,800. And I'm just going to use my 9 times tables here. I'm going 9, 18, 27, 36. I'm going to need more room, so I'm going to make it smaller. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, and 72. And, 18, sorry, not 19. 9, 18, 27. And I'm talking in hundreds rather than ones, so I'm going to make them all 100 times bigger. 900, 1,800. Okay, so there I was counting in my 900. So I'm going up to 900 into 7,800. Well, I can go one more if I wanted to, and I know that actually it would stop at this one here. So it goes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. As I said before, let's just do one more just in case. So from 7,200 to 7,800 is a gap of 600, so 600 left over. And how many times does 900 go into 6,000? It would stop here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Just as well I did, because remember I said before, you're going to have to round it to 3 decimal places. So the 6 is larger than 5, so it's going to push this up to 9. So I'm going to have 0.009. to compare with the other one. So let's have a look then at which one is my best buy. Well, for 1 millilitre this would cost me £0.006, whereas this one would cost me £0.009. So I know that this time the best buy value would be A. Okay, I hope this has helped. Just don't remember which way round you are dividing. Just because it's a larger number, try and get rid of that misconception that the larger number is always being divided by the smaller number. Sometimes, like in this instance, you're going to end up with very tiny numbers, so you need to be really careful and know what it is you are dividing by. 900 divided by 900 is 1, so I'm going to have to do this number here, 7.8 divided by 900, which seems wrong, I know, but there's no reason it can't work, as I've proven to you here. Okay? Good luck, and I'll have a go at modelling to you the next one, the next question now.